It's Monday morning, February 25th, 2002. And the games are done, but not without one more mix of pageantry and controversy. Hunting Daniel Pearl's killers, new details on the connection to Osama bin Laden. And job seekers rejoice. Spring flowers may bring the hiring season with them. Those stories making news early today.
This is Early Today on NBC. And now, Nanette Hansen.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Early Today, the first day in 2 weeks without a slate of Olympic events to follow. This morning, the cleanup is underway. We head to Salt Lake City and NBC's Leanne Gregg for a wrap-up of the closing ceremonies and the last dose of controversy served up by the 19th Winter Games that saw the U.S. win a record 34 medals. Leanne, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Nanette. It was a triumph for Utah and all of America. 2,500 athletes from 78 countries had a final gathering.
From NSYNC to Bon Jovi to Gloria Estefan. More than a ceremony, it's a celebration.
You Olympians came here representing 78 different countries, but today you go home heroes of the entire world.
The newest heroes of Canada, this men's hockey team. Defeating their American rivals, Canada wins its first Olympic medal in 50 years. The U.S. takes home silver.
It was a great hockey game, and we played probably one of the best teams in the world, if not the best.
The best to one of the worst sides of sports. On the final day of competition, cross-country skiers from Russia and Spain both stripped of their gold medals after testing positive for performance-enhancing drugs. Controversy aside, these games go down in history as a great accomplishment as Utah and the nation breathes a sigh of relief.
You have reassured us that people from all countries can live peacefully together.
Thank you, and we bid you farewell.
We leave this place as dreamers, because now we know that the dream we share can come true.
The Games now leave the U.S. for at least 10 years. They head first to Athens, then Torino, Italy, then Beijing. Nanette?
Leanne Gregg in Salt Lake City this morning. Thank you very much. There's a published report this morning that the FBI is focusing on a single person in the anthrax investigation. Quoting unnamed sources, this morning's Washington Times reports a former scientist who worked at a government lab is under suspicion but not yet charged. According to the paper, the unnamed researcher is thought to have worked at the U.S. Army Medical Research Center at Fort Detrick, Maryland. 5 people died in the anthrax attacks. The 4 men accused in the abduction and death of reporter Daniel Pearl will be in court today while police scour the Pakistani-Afghan border for the rest of the killers. Ahmed Omar Saeed Sheikh and 3 other men will be charged with kidnapping and murder today in Pakistan. The 3 other men are accused of sending the emails with photos announcing the kidnapping of the Wall Street Journal reporter. Investigators believe the killers have ties to Osama bin Laden and the Taliban. There are reports Omar Saeed Sheikh told investigators he met with bin Laden after the September 11th attacks, and it's now believed Pearl was killed a week after his abduction. And from Rome, details on a potential terrorist plot against Americans. Italian authorities are now investigating whether holes found in the walls of a utility tunnel near the U.S. Embassy in Rome are linked to a potential cyanide attack on the embassy and Rome's water supply. 9 Moroccan men are already under arrest in connection with the case. The defense of confessed killer Andrea Yates begins today in Houston. Yates is on trial for the drowning murders of her 5 children. She's using the insanity defense. Prosecutors want the death penalty. The key testimony this week will be from doctors who spoke to her before and after the deaths. She'd been treated for depression after the birth of one of her children. NBC's Dan Abrams reports former NBA star Jason Williams will turn himself in today to face reckless manslaughter. Williams is the only suspect in the shooting death of a limo driver last week in Williams' New Jersey home. If convicted, Williams could get 5 to 10 years. In the Enron scandal, some of the main players will be back in Washington this week. As more and more layers of the $63 billion bankruptcy are peeled back, investigators still want to know who knew what and when, and more about a videotape where Enron executives urged employees to invest all of their retirement money in Enron stock. Former CEO Jeff Skilling and internal whistleblower Sharon Watkins will testify tomorrow. Joe in now, as he is every day at this time, with a look at our weather. Welcome back to Early
Good
Morning, Joe.
morning, Annette. Yes, good to see you. Olympics are finally over, and finally we're going to get some really cold weather in the northern plains. Sub-zero temperatures by the middle portion of the week. Today, another mild day in the eastern third of the country. Take a look at the weather map. We have a weak frontal system dividing the country into two parts. Along the two pairs of lows, L's, we have a weak frontal system providing some cloudiness today. Along that front, we'll see some developing light rain showers by later on this afternoon and this evening time. Generally around the western areas of Kentucky and Tennessee and around the Chicagoland area, some light rain showers. But look at the contrast in temperatures we're going to have today. We've got the upper 50s around New York and Philadelphia, and then over the western areas, we've got 8 degrees in Billings, Montana, and that's for today. Things will cool down as that cold, very cold high pressure area drops down to the south across the Canadian border, and so that by tomorrow, we'll see temperatures in the teens as far south as Minneapolis, St. Paul, and that cold weather advances to the east. That's the national weather. Now here's what's happening in your neighborhood. Highs today, 48, 46 degrees in Boston, and we'll see 62 in Pittsburgh, but watch out for tomorrow, much colder. Atlanta, 70 degrees, 70 in Raleigh, Durham, headed for Orlando, 78 degrees, and Minneapolis, they have cold, 26 degrees. Phoenix, 79 degrees, and we'll see 64 in San Francisco. And get ready to that by Thursday morning. You'll need a thick sweater and a windbreaker for sure.
Haven't needed that in a while.
Certainly not this way.
Joe, did you catch up on your sleep the past few
I
weeks?
sure did, yes. It was nice.
Me too. Yeah, back to the old grind, though. Have a good day. Joe Whitty, just ahead on Early Today. A new ruling that could be good news for dormant online music service Napster, and is no news good news in the hunt for Osama bin Laden. The latest on what the military knows about his location.